Hold on. Did Cameron just go too far? The leaked video may have ruined his decades-long relationship with Jim Jones, and this time it's not a publicity stunt. A video of Chrissy Lampkin's private and intimate moments has surfaced. But here's the shocking part. Insiders are accusing Cameron of being responsible. Was it a simple petty maneuver gone wrong, or was it a deliberate act of treachery intended to humiliate Jim in the most heinous way possible? Jim isn't remaining silent anymore. It's erupting across all platforms, releasing decades of suppressed emotions. We're talking about secret agreements, lost opportunities, and a brotherhood that may have been a lie all along. Have you ever seen two monarchs turn into foes in real time? This isn't a divorce. It's the demolition of the entire set. And believe me when I say, what you're about to hear will forever alter your perception of Cameron. Because the truth is not only shocking, but also ugly. Once you hear it, you won't be able to ignore it. So avoid blinking, scrolling, or clicking away. It's the beginning of the end. You would think that after all these years of loyalty, there would be an unwritten line that Cameron wouldn't dare cross. Between loyalty, street brotherhood, a shared ascent to hip-hop royalty. But it seems loyalty dies quietly, because what has transpired is not just betrayal, it's nuclear. Let's go back in time. It all began with a leak, but not just any leak. This one was emotionally and graphically offensive. A private video of Chrissy Lampkin, Jim Jones's longtime partner and a highly esteemed matriarch figure, appeared unexpectedly on a dubious burner Twitter account. No followers, no tags, just the uncut video with no captions. It appeared on the timeline, like a digital bomb. At first, people believed it to be a deepfake. But after a few hours, Chrissy's face became recognizable, and the internet did what it does best: detective mode. Edits began to appear. TikTok reactions went viral, and before anybody could verify or refute the authenticity of the film, Twitter was already saying, Cam did it. But why would Cameron release such a video? What could he possibly stand to gain by disclosing something so private? Was it retaliation, spite, or something else? Let's take a moment to discuss history, because this wasn't the first instance of conflict between Cam and Jim. See, Dipset was never as perfect as it appeared from the outside, hidden behind the colorful bandanas and music videos. As their empire evolved, more cracks began to appear. There were times when subtle digs were made in interviews, constant tension, power plays, backdoor business tactics, silent conflict about who actually led the crew. Cameron, the charismatic thinker, Jim Jones, the heart and street muscle. Then there were the explosive times, like the notorious 2017 Hot 97 interview, where Cam revealed everything from internal rivalries to financial betrayals. Jim sobbed. Cam played it cool. Fans were perplexed, but the core Dipset audience knew this was a wound that would never heal. Fast forward to 2025, and we find ourselves in that same pain. But this time, it's Chrissy, not music or money. What's worse is the relationship between Chrissy and Cam. Remember the early 2000s when there were always rumors that Cam didn't approve of Chrissy because he believed she was controlling Jim's business decisions? Some even said Cam tried to persuade Jim to leave her so he could concentrate on his music career. Chrissy was a mainstay on the scene, not only as Jim's partner, but also as a savvy industry woman making real moves. In retrospect, that may have been the seed of the silent, simmering resentment that grew over decades. And with one leak, Cameron may have just allowed all that old animosity to explode in the most unsettling way possible. At the time, it seemed like harmless barbershop talk. But people who spoke to us anonymously for their own safety claim that the film was shot more than 10 years ago, a private moment that was never supposed to be seen. But it happened. Here's where things get even stranger. According to one insider, a now-defunct Dipset hard drive, one only a select few ever had access to, contained the footage Cam supposedly filmed when the group split up during the 2010 upheaval. Could this have been a coincidence or a premeditated act of retaliation? Even more stunning, just days before the leak, Cam and Jim were seen together at a Rock Nation brunch, laughing like old friends, posing for photos, even hinting at a potential Dipset reunion tour. Jim Jones posted a black screen to his Instagram story with the simple words, "I see you." Less than 24 hours after the video went viral, fans' comments were frantic. "It's Cam, he did it. Dipset dead. Forever. Jim going solo, watch." And then the real clapback occurred. On Instagram Live. In an unfiltered, raw live stream, Jim spat into the camera. "I don't care what you think. Man's been envious of me since day one. You don't touch family. You don't play with my girlfriend. That video isn't an accident." The live attracted over 120,000 viewers in minutes. Jim let loose without a script or PR team. "It was sent with the intention of hurting me." The comment section was ablaze with emojis. Viewers were crying. Even lifelong Dipset fans were taking sides. But Jim continued, bringing up past issues. "This the same man who denied me tour funds in 2011, who told labels I was untrustworthy. I held it down. This wasn't just a personal betrayal anymore. This was a public declaration of war." The internet exploded with think pieces, podcasts, Twitter spaces debating, was Jim being emotional? Was Cam really behind it? The fact that Cam remained silent only made matters worse. Chrissy, known for being silent for over a decade, unfollowed Cam on all platforms, archived every photo with him, and posted a mysterious message on her story. If the alleged text messages between Cam and an unidentified industry friend discussing a plan to leak something spicy to harm Jim's brand are accurate, this goes beyond petty drama. It's career sabotage. It couldn't get any more toxic. An anonymous source revealed something even darker. Cam has yet to deny any of it. Why isn't he defending himself? Why remain silent while your reputation burns? Or perhaps Cam knew this day would come and was prepared to burn everything down. And just when we thought we had reached the pinnacle of mayhem, things took a crazy turn. New layers of treachery came loose like a web of deception. The texts, yes, they were real. But here's where it gets spicy. The leak wasn't only about the video. According to sources, these private messages between Cam and an unidentified industry insider paint a much darker picture. Cam allegedly stated in one of the messages, "The right amount of dirt can break him down. Let's hit him where it hurts. His woman, his money, his fans." That's right, his fans. In addition to destroying Jim's brand with a single video leak, Cam allegedly organized a whole smear campaign to ruin his reputation in the industry. The insider instructed Cam to keep it low-key. But Jim's Instagram Live didn't just change the game, it changed the discourse completely. Jim's lady, his money, his fans, everything he values, were all turned into tools in Cam's nasty game of retaliation. This wasn't just about the video anymore. This was about Dipset's entire legacy. The public's opinion of the crew was about to take a serious hit, with insiders and fans wondering if all those years of devotion were just a botched business deal. The internet was ablaze. Let's pause and consider. Did Cam actually leak that video as part of a bigger conspiracy? Everyone became a detective. Is Cam behind this? Was he trying to force Jim out of Dipset all along? Could this be a calculated attempt to regain control of the group? The most premeditated action in hip-hop history would be to destroy Jim. Not just his profession, but also his personal life, all while remaining silent. Fans began investigating his past, and some unsettling patterns emerged. In a Twitter thread that sent shockwaves, fans unearthed old pictures of Cam with other rappers ex-friends discarded once they were no longer needed. It became clear, Cam wasn't just famous for his hits, he was also known for making enemies. You cross him, you're done. His power move? The silent treatment. He knew Jim would lose, and was enjoying the show when he did. But here's where it gets even crazier. According to some sources, the leaks didn't end with Chrissy's video. We're talking about financial papers, personal messages, and images given to blogs and shady outlets willing to spread the stories. And guess what? The person in charge of the leaks, this is where things explode, was an unidentified third party connected to both Jim and Cam. We'll call them the Puppet Master. The Puppet Master reportedly contacted Jim and Cam separately, offering them exclusive interviews, even attempting to arrange a reunion. The catch? They intended to control the story, make money off the feud, and transform the entire thing into a public spectacle. The Puppet Master's ultimate goal was to intensify the conflict until it reached a breaking point, so the two ex-brothers could never reconcile. This was the ultimate betrayal. It wasn't just business. At the core of it all were Cam and Jim, and the one behind it all. Well, that's the part we're all still waiting to uncover. That was damaging his reputation. They didn't want to be linked to the ongoing drama in his personal life. As for Cameron, it turns out that his attempt to revive his solo career hit a huge roadblock, with business partners abandoning him one by one, uncertain if siding with the rapper was the right move or worth the possible PR catastrophe. But even stranger were allegations of unpaid contracts, dubious financial transactions, and claims that Cam was being sued by a former label executive for allegedly mismanaging money. It was obvious that the drama was about more than just Cam, and Jim had to make some tough choices quickly or risk losing everything. Then came the lawsuits, the actual business side of the repercussions. It seemed like a legal storm had just arrived, bringing with it a barrage of accusations, counterclaims, and settlements. Initially, it was Jim Jones's turn. According to sources, Jim had formally sued Cameron for defamation, charging him with slander, conspiracy, and mental distress as a result of the stolen film and the public attacks on his personal life that followed. Even more shocking was the rumor that Jim was demanding millions of dollars in damages and a public apology from Cam. The claim was so audacious that it caught even the most seasoned legal professionals off guard. Jim's legal team was ready to fight it all the way to trial and wasn't holding back. Cameron, however, wasn't going to take this lying down. Instead, he responded with a counterclaim, accusing Jim of extorting him for years. He claimed that Jim had used their friendship to steal money and sway business transactions, and now he was looking for a sizable payout. The public's perception of both men began to deteriorate daily, and legal experts projected that this lawsuit could go on for years. Was this the end of their careers and legacies? This is where the true grief comes in. The fans who have stood by them didn't know who to believe at first, and they're the ones suffering the most from this mess. It's tearing them apart. Some sided with Jim, saying Cam had crossed a line, while others believed Cam had good reason to feel betrayed. These are the fans who know every lyric and wore every Dipset chain like it was their own. It was difficult to ignore the growing rift between the two groups of Dipset supporters after years of watching Jim play second fiddle. But then the bombshells hit. As fans dug deeper into the story, the more they discovered, the more their allegiance was shattered. After the video leak went viral, leaked footage of Jim's emotional collapse appeared. One particularly disturbing clip showed him wondering, "Is this how they really feel about me after everything we've been through?" as he stared at his phone screen. On the other side, Cam went silent once more, unconcerned. His only public statement was a tweet that said, "The truth hurts sometimes." No explanation, no apology, just a cold, calculated statement that only fueled the flames further. He knew the impact it would have, but the longer he remained silent, the more people noticed a new side of him. A cunning, self-interested businessman who would stop at nothing to maintain power. While some supporters abandoned ship, others took to social media to defend their favorite artist. The entire Dipset fan base was split, and the industry took notice. The more they quarreled, the less power they had. Their togetherness was eroding, and both men were to blame. The question was whether they could ever mend the damage, or if their actions permanently damaged the legacy they had created together. Now let's talk about Chrissy, because she is at the center of this. Chrissy Lampkin, Jim's longtime partner, was of course the focus of the entire feud. As the drama developed, her name was also dragged through the mud. She had been publicly criticized, and it was obvious that she was caught in the middle of this mess. However, fans were unaware at the time that Chrissy wasn't just a bystander. There were allegations that she had seen the tape before it was made public and had been pressuring Jim to take action against Cam. In fact, some people even said that she had known about the treachery before the rest of the world did, which simply made the riddle more complex. Was she really only a pawn in this game, or did she have personal reasons for remaining silent as everything fell apart? The worst part is that it wasn't just about the men anymore. It was also about their families, reputations, and everything they had worked so hard to build over the years. The longer this went on, the more those close to both men became embroiled. In the aftermath, Those who had previously supported them were now separating themselves so as not to be caught in the crossfire of an uncontrollably escalating feud. At this point, we must ask, is there any chance that Jim and Cam can ever work things out again, or is this dispute really the end of the Dipset era? The legacy they built over the years is now in jeopardy. And it's not only their reputations at stake, it's their place in hip-hop history books. One thing is certain, though, the story isn't finished yet. The last chapters have not yet been written. The question that still lingers after everything that has happened is whether there will be any repercussions from this. As the lawsuits pile up, public opinion changes, and the music industry watches. The truth about the Jim Jones and Cameron feud, the shattered bond, and the explosive fallout rocking the hip-hop world are at the top of this epic battle of brotherhood, betrayal, and broken bonds. However, here's the real question, and I want to hear your thoughts. Who is at fault here? Was Cam's betrayal the spark that started it all, or was Jim's own ambition and greed the catalyst? Tell me in the comments section below if you think they can ever work things out, or if this marks the end of Dipset's rule. If you liked this in-depth look at the chaos, don't forget to hit the like button and share this video. That concludes today's jaw-dropping story. But before you leave, I need to know what you believe Jim Jones is right to do. Watch with your friends, and of course, subscribe for more explosive content. I promise you won't want to miss what's coming tomorrow. If you haven't subscribed yet, please share your thoughts in the comments box below. I'm reading every single one of them. So I'd like to know, are you on Cameron's side or Jim's, or do you believe that this whole situation has been a complete mess from the beginning? We're just getting started, so you'll want to be here for the genuine tea. Don't forget to like and comment. What are you waiting for? Click the subscribe button and enable notifications so you'll be the first to know when we release the next wild story. And share this video to continue the discourse. Until next time, stay tuned and keep your eyes open. As always, we have the truth, and we're not scared to reveal it. I'll see you in the next one.